So the first thing is I'm gonna show you how to put together colors when you wanna create a smoky eye, okay? And you can do a soft smoky eye with 4 colors, 3 colors, 6 colors. It's all about the layering and blending and having it basically go from lightest to darkest. So to save time, I put things together. I'm gonna be recreating a plummy, pinky, plummy brown semi-smoky eye on a hooded eye with an age-appropriate wing. Okay, because I know that a lot of people struggle and ask me, they reach out to me on inbox and say, how in the world do I do a winged liner without taking up my whole eye, making it disappear, or making it look even more droopy? So you're gonna get a bonus tip by seeing that at the end, so make sure you stick around. So when pairing colors together, you always wanna stay in the same family. So I put these together. I'm gonna be using these 4 today, but I added these 2, because if you're into a shimmer, then I wanted to show you how you can, add some shimmer into that color. So what we got going on here is like a vanilla color, a very nude pink, like a blushy pink, and then one that's like a medium, and this is like a transition, okay? This is like a nice shimmer to do in the inner corner of the eye. Brown, it's a plummy brown. So you wanna stay in the same family. So for instance, if you were doing a like a bronzy smoky eye or something with like gold tones, then your light colors would be a cream color, and then your transition color to warm it up would be between these pale oranges, and then you'd go into your dark browns. Does that make sense? So that's how you pair colors together. So this is how you're gonna learn the best, because I'm not just gonna go into a smoky eye as the pro, because obviously I know what I'm doing. I do this for a living, right? So I don't wanna just show off how I do my eye. I wanna teach you how to replicate this in the easiest way. So first off, you gotta prime the eyelid, okay? Because otherwise it's just gonna crease, it's gonna come off, and you're gonna be really ticked off. So what I'm gonna do is go into a waterproof wax concealer, because I wanna conceal and I want it to prime and act as 2. You can use whatever eye primer you have, but this is what I like to use, and it doesn't really matter, just as long as you're putting some kind of, blank background, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm really warming that up on my wrist, because when you're working with waterproof products that are wax-based, you need to get some body heat in there to really warm it up, okay? So then I'm gonna take a concealer brush, and then, so we're gonna come in, let me get my mirror going right here, there we go. And so I'm only gonna do one eye, because I don't want this to be a long live. And what you're gonna do is you're going to make sure that you create your canvas, okay? Don't worry about perfecting up near the brow. You can do that later with a smaller brush, which you're gonna see me do at the end, okay? I did not conceal under my eyes, because if we get fallout and stuff, and when I'm all done, I wanna create a perfect clean line, which you're gonna see me do. So I'm just gonna get that layer on, right? And then you can just kind of press it in with your finger, make sure that it's not all cakey and heavy, just like so. You can use a sponge if you want to. I mean, the choice is yours. But then what you need to do is you have to set it, okay? So I'm gonna take a translucent setting powder, because it's colorless and weightless. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to powder the eye, because then if I don't do this, we're not gonna get the nice blending. We're not gonna get that beautiful blending when we're layering our colors, okay? So now we have a good canvas. So normally you would see in a lot of the tutorials, they go right into, and I've done it before, they go right into, it's called the transition color. We're not gonna do that. When you have hooded eye, the skin, see how much skin there is? There's like very little real estate on the lower lid, okay? So what we wanna do is we wanna fake a bigger lid. And I know that a lot of you see what's out there called cut creasing. So what that means is they'll start to do the transition color and do the smoky eye, and then they'll take a concealer, right? And then they'll cut open a bigger lid, and then they pack on the color, right? Say me down below if you know what I'm talking about. And we're all like, ooh, and we watch it, but it's just so much makeup, or it's glittery, or it's just unrealistic to what you would do. I wanna show you what you can do. You're going out to girls' night out, you're going on a date with your husband, you're going to a wedding, and you wanna recreate that in the everyday people way. So say me down below if that's you. So what you would do to recreate that is you're gonna take a small eyeshadow brush, okay? And you're gonna go into your lightest color, okay? So I'm gonna go into a nice vanilla color, Okay, so I'm gonna really get that in. And we're not gonna sweep, because if you sweep it, you're just gonna have eyeshadow falling everywhere and it's gonna be too sheer. You wanna pack on color. So what you're gonna do is you're going to start in the center of the lid, right? And you're gonna come up past it slightly and start to create pretty much like a half moon, right? So see how we're packing and going up towards, like up into this bone. So if you close your eye, you'll feel the bone right here, and right where it starts to sink in is where you want to stop putting that lighter color, okay? So we got that lighter color going first, and then we're gonna go into the next color, okay? So I'm gonna start to lighten that up. So this is like a nice baby pink. Again, I'm using all mattes. You can add a strip of shimmer in the center at the very end. I'll show you how to do that. But when you're trying to rebuild or reshape, I'm showing you like basically the backwards way of like cutting a crease, okay? And that's it, that's how it should look. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the same brush, I'm gonna clean it off on a paper towel, and now we're gonna go into the transition color. So basically I'm using this color now, okay? So it's like a dusty rose. So it's not the dark color, it's the lighter. So you're gonna find that bone, you're gonna tip your head back, because if you go like this and try to get in there, when you lower your eye, it's gonna disappear. So tip your head back and push the brush. See where that bone is? See how I'm pushing in? We're gonna go like this, underneath the bone, and you could find it by tipping your head back just like this. And notice how I'm not raising my eyes either, okay? So already we could see it starting to open. Can you see the difference of this side to this side already? Please say yes down below if you're seeing a difference, okay? So we're just gonna go back in, get a little bit more, tip your head back, push into that bone, and just do this windshield wiper motion, just like that, okay? And then you're gonna come down a little bit right there, that's it. Okay, so this is like baby steps, right? But you're gonna learn. Then you jump to a long blender, because now we wanna shear that out, right? So the shorter brushes packs on color and builds. Longer brushes are going to shear it out and blend. Yes, I'm glad you guys are seeing the difference. So what you're gonna do now is you're going to just soften the line that's at the top of, that half moon shape. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. You can do little circular motions, just like so. And already, see how it's starting to build up? Okay, so then you're gonna jump back into the smaller brush, okay? And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into the plummy color, okay? So the plummy color is right here. So I'm gonna get a little bit of that. And what you're gonna do is tip your head back, and you're going to stay on this part. You're gonna go right on top of that, the transition color, and then come down on the side of the eye. And then what you're gonna do is jump back to that blender, and you're just gonna do circular motions, staying out here. We're not going into the inner part of the eye. We're just blending in circles till it starts to soften. And then I'm gonna go back into that first transition color to go over it. The transition color was that very first one that we did. So again, the whole secret, everyone, is the layering and blending. It's the tools and it's the layering. So notice how I'm wrapping around under the eye too, because you don't wanna forget, you don't wanna have like this floating eye on top, right? So see how we're starting to build that? And then I'm gonna soften it a little bit more. Again, just repeating the steps. Okay, cleaning it off on the paper towel, and then soften this line. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the darker one, which is right here. It's the plummy brown, so we're staying in the same family. We don't wanna be out here. That has nothing to do with pink or plum. We wanna stay down here. So I'm gonna grab that small brush, get a little bit of my brush, and you're going to now just apply it right there. Stop, jump to the blender, and you're going to soften those lines out. Don't be afraid to kind of get into the middle part of the eye because you're going to go back over it with the lighter shadow. Do you see that? See how we're opening up that eye? Look at the difference of the two sides. So now we're going to go back into that transition color, and I want to soften everything. And that's actually, you know, preference. If you want it really dark, then you could skip that part. But remember, I put it in my description, soft smoky eye. So now what I'm going to do is go back into that nude pink, and we're going to soften the overall line at the top. What do you guys think so far? Are you loving this? Are you learning something? I hope you are. So now I'm going to take that transition color and stay underneath the eye with it, and then dip into the dark brown one right here. That same dark brown one. Good, Amber. And just kind of, connect it to this outer part right here. See how I did that? Because you don't want to not bring it down to the bottom. So now let's go back into that small brush, and we're gonna go back into that lightest shade. Remember we did in the beginning? Because we're gonna brighten it up now. Just like that. And then go back to that long blender. Just like that. So see? So now we're not done. This is where it starts to build. So now to do the age appropriate wing and the liner, when you're aging and you get hooded eye, right? You don't want to put a thick eyeliner on top of the eye because you're going to totally take away that real estate. So what you want to do is you want to do what's called tight lining. So first what you would do is just push underneath the lashes with I like using brown. I feel like black, unless you have really dark features like dark hair, I feel like black can really close up the eye. So notice how you could look down in a mirror and do this, but I'm just kind of getting into that lash line so that when I do the black winged liner, you're not gonna see those skip marks, those white jump marks, right? So who knows what I'm talking about? Say me down below, right? So you see the difference right there? Already, we filled out some volume in the lashes by doing that. I'm gonna give my lashes actually a little curl because when I put on the mascara, I want you to see. That's another thing. When you're aging, your lashes thin out, you lose volume, and you should be definitely curling your lashes, okay? So now, how to do an age-appropriate winged liner, okay? You wanna get a nice fine tip waterproof pen, okay? Because the finer the tip, the perfect line that you're gonna get. And what you're gonna do is, here's the bottom of your brow, and here's the under part of your eye, right? We don't wanna go out this way, like straight out, right? And we don't wanna go, do this big triangle because it would make us look even more droopy. So what you wanna do is imagine that this under part of your eye line continues up, right? So what we're gonna do is, without raising your eyelid, you want to just draw a skinny line like that. So it's lining up with the bottom of your eye. So see how as if you're extending out. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Then what you want to do is start to meet that line. Again, don't raise up your eye. See how we're just start doing little etching marks to connect that triangle. That's it. Now, this is where you can open up your eye. You can open up your eye and fill in, color in and connect that tiny little triangle, but then that's it. You don't bring it all the way in here. We already tight lined in the eye, and this little hack, by doing that, gives you that winged effect. So you're not drawing this big thick line. And if you want it a little thicker, that's fine. Rest your pinky on your cheek and just go extremely close to your lashes. And then you can bring it in here like that. That's it, okay? Now, what I also like to do to open up the eye, because we want to keep everything going up, remember? Take a nude or a white pencil. I'm using a waterproof one that will stay here for literally 6 to 8 hours, and put it inside your waterline to really open that up, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is get on some mascara, clean under the eye to really give myself a facelift. You're gonna see the aha factor. And if you like shimmers, I'm gonna show you exactly where to put the shimmer on an aging hooded eye so that you don't kill the whole look. So don't leave yet because I'm not finished. So let me just get a nice little coat. I'm using a fiber mascara. This is a lengthening and volume building mascara, and your lashes get longer and longer with each swipe. So I curled the lashes already, and I'm just hitting the tips for right now. And then I'm gonna build it up at the base. So let's just get a little on the tips. I'm gonna come under here. Never forget the lower lashes. I like this mascara because it's water resistant. It doesn't give you the black lines underneath your eyes. Who suffers with that? Who gets black under their eyes? The whole problem is you gotta make sure that you're powdering underneath the eyes and using something that's water resistant. All right, so now I'm gonna come under the base of the lash, give it a little rock, and blink and bend towards the nose. Give it a rock, because you wanna really build at the volume, like build volume at the base. And so I'm gonna stop right there because this isn't a mascara video. I just wanna get some mascara on there. Okay, so now you wanna go into that concealer, okay? That was on your wrist. I need a little bit more on my hand though. So I'm gonna take a little bit more out. You're gonna warm it up, warm it up. Hello, hi Katrina. And now what I'm gonna do is, if there's any fallout, I'm just gonna move it away with my translucent powder brush. And now this is where I like to clean up, okay? So you can clean up the line just like this. So remember, I did not do my concealer yet. So I think, you know, when you're gonna do a smoky eye, you definitely want to save the concealer part for last. A lot of you that have been following me for a long time, you know how I taught you to do the concealer in this area and then buff it out to where you gotta go. So notice I didn't do the big triangle. So I plopped it right there because this is where we're getting all the darkness, right? Hi Giselle, thanks for jumping on. If you missed the beginning, there's, you know, this is staying up, you can catch the replay. So I like using this brush with the long hairs to give me like an airbrush effect, but look how we have this beautiful lifted eye compared to the hooded eye. Can I get a wow in the comments if you see a difference? I really want you to give me that wow if you could see the difference. So now what I'm gonna do is take a lip brush, a lipstick brush, because I wanna do some detailing. So this is where it's really gonna give a lift. So I'm going to clean up my brow line. If I use the concealer brush, it's too thick, and I wanna get a nice clean line. And I'm actually using it to highlight the brow bone. I'm gonna clean up that brow, just like this. And clean off the rest. See, it's all about transformations, girls, right? It's all about transformations. Just doing those steps. So now, if you wanted to add some shimmer, what I like to do is, I like using a champagne-y, pinky color. You can see I use it a lot. It's like down to the pan. What you can do is you can use a cream shadow. I feel like works really good for aging eyes or hooded eyes. Otherwise, I'm gonna take a eyeshadow brush. This is the trick. When you're working with pro products, I don't need to have a bunch of cream eyeshadows, powder eyeshadows, liquid eyeshadows. You're able to like make the products versatile, basically. So now I'm gonna turn my powder shadow into a cream, and it's gonna stay all day because it's a 16-hour setting spray. So I'm gonna wet the brush, and then I'm gonna go into that shimmer eyeshadow and turn it into a cream. And what I'm gonna do is just paint the center of the eyelid. Can you see that? Right? And that just gives it that little pop. And you can do the same thing by taking the smaller brush that you use for under your eyes and just kind of get that little inner socket. That's age appropriate shimmer, okay? And then you can take it with your finger. So I love this color. I use it for everything. And I, triple it up as my highlighter right here above the cheek. So what do you think? So that's it, easy breezy. I showed you how to pair up colors. I showed you the power of layering, the right tools, the right placement, an age appropriate wing. You got a lot of good tips in this video. So if you learned anything, I'm gonna ask you to share this video so you can help somebody else, okay? And if you do share it, put down shared in the comments so I know that you shared the video and I can show you some love. And that's it. If you need help picking out any type of eyeshadow colors and making a combination, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be more than welcome to help you. I'm Candice Bertolini and I'm your makeup fix. Bye guys, have a great day.